Chapter 513, 514. The Prize for Winner. Facing the aggressive Wu Di, Zhang Yi also got a little angry. Although he didn't want to fight a meaningless battle, he had to teach this ignorant man a lesson. After all, he was not the kind of person who would always endure. However, he couldn't fight in vain. When Wu Di heard that Zhang Yi agreed to fight him, a flash of excitement flashed in his eyes. You agreed? Ha ha ha, good. As for the prize, tell me, what do you want? Zhang Yi thought for a while, pointed at Wu Di and said, I'm only interested in weapons and armor. The technology in the Jiangnan region is so advanced, so I guess they must have outstanding equipment. Zhang Yi had a deeper plan in his mind. He came here with Liu Karen this time. As long as he was given a sample of top-quality equipment, Liu Karen would have a chance to replicate it. Therefore, even though Zhang Yi himself was not a weapons expert, he still made such a request. Wu Di frowned. You want weapons? Oh, it's not impossible. But for aliens like you and me, weapons and other external objects don't mean much. Bailey Chongqing covered his forehead helplessly. Wu Di really had no idea about the weapons in Blizzard City. Many weapons were highly confidential. Although they were very convenient to use on weekdays, they were absolutely not allowed to be scattered outside. For example, the origin bullets and the black battle suits they wore on weekdays. He stepped forward to warn worriedly. Don't be impulsive, you two. You can have a simple exchange, but you must not get angry. Otherwise, I will not sit idly by. As for the prizes of the game, Zhang Yi, do you have any weapons you are good at using? You can basically forget about hot weapons, but I can get you a cold weapon. Zhang Yi was a little speechless. Cold weapons? He was best at using guns, and cold weapons were at most used for self-defense, and so far he had never used them many times. Even the dragon roar made of adamantium, he gave it to Liang Yu every time there was a big battle. Now it is still on Liang Yu. Bailey Chongqing noticed that Zhang Yi looked strange and said with a smile, Don't worry, we won't fool you with scrap metal. There are many good things in our Black Robe team's arsenal. For example, weapons made of adamantium. You must have heard of it, right? Adamantium? Zhang Yi is very familiar with this material. Liang Yu's Longming uses this material. Unfortunately, according to Liu Karen, this material is extremely scarce and ordinary people can't get it at all. But for the investigation team in Jiangnan District, this material is not so scarce. Zhang Yi's eyes were a little hot. He had to have a weapon of his own to defend himself. I like to use a knife. Bailey Chongqing had already opened a transparent floating screen in front of Zhang Yi. On the light blue screen, images of weapons appeared one by one. Bailey Chongqing stretched out his hand and swiped it across, and immediately all kinds of weapons appeared in front of Zhang Yi. The weapons we use daily are made of adamantium. This is the standard weapon used by the investigation team. You can pick one you like, and don't mention the prize. I'll give it to you. Bailey Chongqing said to Zhang Yi with a smile. For aliens, the dependence on weapons is not particularly high. Unless they are enhanced aliens who are good at weapons or weapon masters, they pay more attention to this. Among the Black Robe team, only Bailey Chongqing relies more on equipment. Of course, the reason why Bailey Chongqing said to give Zhang Yi a weapon is not that adamantium weapons are common goods. It's just that he understands that with Wu Di's current strength, it is impossible to beat Zhang Yi. Instead of making the relationship between the two people stiff, it is better to do a favor. Zhang Yi looked at the many adamantium weapons displayed by Bailey Chongqing, and his heart was shocked. You know, Liang Yu's Longming was specially given to a lady who had protected the high-level officials of Xinjiang. In other words, this kind of weapon is extremely rare. But in the top combat teams in the region, such as the investigation team, adamantium weapons have become common. Wu Di frowned slightly. Logically speaking, this kind of weapon cannot be used by people outside the investigation team. Of course, the material formula of adamantium is not a state secret, and several world-class countries have mastered its smelting technology. So, as the captain of the Black Robe team, it is not a big deal for Bailey Chongqing to give Zhang Yi one. This is one of the privileges of being a captain. Zhang Yi smiled faintly. He didn't want to accept other people's favors for no reason. No need, since it's a bet, I will get it based on my strength. He walked over and searched among the many weapons. The shape of these weapons is very peculiar. Different from traditional cold weapons, they have a very distinctive cyberpunk metal style. Zhang Yi quickly found a long sword inside. It was a straight sword with a blade of only about 1 meter, which was much shorter than the Longming used by Liang Yu. Its back is slightly thick, and it should be a replica of the Tang horizontal sword, but with a modern and technological feel. Zhang Yi thought carefully. He is not a pure alien who fights with weapons, and his strength is weaker than that of the enhanced and orc aliens. Therefore, it is more suitable for him to choose this type of knife that is more suitable for close combat. To put it bluntly, this kind of knife is more suitable for him to use for defense and parrying. If it is not necessary, he will not choose close combat, let alone close combat with the enemy. So Zhang Yi pointed to the horizontal knife and said, "I will choose it." After confirming it, Bailey Chongqing smiled and put away the image of the weapon. But he still advised, "This time it is just a competition. I hope you two don't fight too much. When necessary, I will also intervene." Wu Di smiled and said, "Don't worry, boss. I know what I am doing. As long as he is defeated, his life will not be hurt. He and Zhang Yi have no personal grudges. This battle is just for his personal obsession and a purpose that cannot be told to others." Zhang Yi's mouth curled up slightly. "Me too. But where are we going to fight?" Bailey Chongqing looked at the two of them, and seeing that the duel could no longer be stopped, he had to make the duel as peaceful as possible. So he said, "There is a martial arts training ground in Blizzard City. Only there can we fight legally. Let's go there." Zhang Yi glanced at Wu Di, nodded and said, "Okay, let's go." Wu Di grinned, his eyes filled with fighting spirit. This chapter ends here. Please like and subscribe to get more future content.